Have you ever tried using the Hauppauge HD PVR2 to record PlayStation 3 footage, especially through HDMI? If you have, then you might recognize this accompanying message from Hauppauge Capture as such, specifically the second sentence. Make sure the HDCP copy protection is not applied in your video source, or something along the line. Followed by a completely black screen. It can tell what resolution the console is displaying, but nothing is on screen. HDCP stands for High Bandwidth Digital Content Protection. The PlayStation 3, as well as the PlayStation TV, uses this application, which prevents you from recording through HDMI, even if the resolution is at 720p. Thankfully, later consoles like the PlayStations 4 and 5 allowed the player to turn off that feature, although the PlayStation 4 didn't have that option until after an update early in its lifespan. So far, even though the system software is still being supported by Sony, the PlayStation 3 is still plagued by this roadblock. Sure, you can use component cables as a second option, but in my experience, the footage never looked all that great, and the shadows behind some icons were out of alignment. Even at that point in the console generation, HDMI was, and is, the ideal cable one should use for good quality visuals. And thankfully, there is a way to combat that. This is an HDMI splitter I used to bypass the copy protection on the PlayStation 3. I bought this sometime during my Let's Play of Tales of the Abyss. When I got this in the mail, it didn't look anything like the one I saw in photos. I thought they sold me a fake. It was recommended that you get a splitter that is HDMI 1.4 compliant. As you can see at the side of the box, it says HDMI version 1.3, but I'll show you why that's irrelevant in a minute. So this is what my HDMI splitter looks like. Many splitters don't look like this, so some may vary in design. However, they should have similar cable inputs. The front side of the device has inputs for HDMI and the power supply that should come with the splitter. The back side has two outputs for HDMI, although using one is enough for this demonstration. Let me show you. First off, when you plug in the device, the light beside the inputs for the power supply should be red. Next, plug in the HDMI cable of your affected Sony console of choice into the HDMI input. And as you can see, the light beside the input is green. Finally, plug in your non-included HDMI cable into one of the outputs behind the device. We'll use output number 1 for this example. When you plug the cable into your capture card and turn on the console, the light beside the output should be green as well. With that, this is what the setup should look like. Tedious? Yes. Effective in the long run? Absolutely. Let's turn on Hauppauge Capture and see for ourselves. Alright, here we are in Hauppauge Capture. Let's go ahead and select HDMI as our video source. And after a while, we have a display. One piece of advice though, if you plan on recording gameplay footage, start recording the game the moment you reach the main menu. The PlayStation 3 keeps switching resolutions when transitioning from the main menu all the way to the game. So much so that through my experience, the audio doesn't get recorded at all. Just a heads up. Now you know how I record gameplay footage from my PlayStation 3. It could be better, but this is all I have. I have heard that other capture cards released later bypasses the copy protection by default, which fascinates me to no end. I would like to get my hands on such a device, maybe one day. Anyways, that about wraps up on this demonstration video. As always, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, hopefully you liked what you've seen, please do what you must, it'll really help me out a lot. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.